Let's go to Florida for vacation in 2022.
We're going to Disneyland!
Morons!
Going to Disneyland! I'm going to Disney World! We're going to Disney World!
Morons! Yes, you all! Get out of my sight!
That's right, we're going to Colorado, Disneyland of the mountains. On the first day of our drive out to Colorado, we were making good time. Well before noon, we arrived at the intersection of Interstate 57 and 64. Shortly after getting out of St. Louis, Missouri, I noticed a message on the dashboard saying to charge the system. I know all too well that when a battery goes below the expected voltage, the computer will become erratic and the car is likely to stop functioning. The alternator in my van went out. Got this guy here is a mobile mechanic, and he is putting in a new alternator. He's out getting it right now. It's Sunday morning. We had to stop early on our trip to get off the road as soon as that alternator went. We were stuck in New Florence, Missouri, and though I'm grateful we were able to get it resolved so quickly, it also came at a hefty cost. Before we knew it, we were back on the road, making our way to Colorado. The plan was to drive around 18 hours the first day into Colorado. Since we started late on the second day, making it to Grand Junction was no longer in the cards. Instead, we took things a little slower once getting into Colorado. We stopped off to get gas outside of Denver and found some amazing places to photograph along the way. We also stopped at the I-70 Diner, which looks to have been closed since the start of COVID. This place was literally in the middle of nowhere. Once you pass the diner, it is another 2 hours to Denver, where we stopped in town to grab a bite to eat before crashing out for the evening at an Airbnb. The following day was a sightseeing drive over the mountains outside Denver. Our first stop was in Georgetown Lake to capture a few shots with the mountains as a scenic backdrop. I was wearing shorts after leaving Denver, and it was very cool at this elevation. Our next stop was in Vail, which was built with a German-inspired style. Slow down to take in the fresh mountain air and enjoy the scenery. Quench your thirst with your favorite drink at the Österreichhaussalon. Further down I-70, you will pass the town of Glenwood Springs. This becomes some of the most amazing interstate mileage I have ever had the pleasure of driving. The highway becomes split as it traverses the canyons, following along closely to the flow of the Colorado River. Glenwood is also known for its hot springs nestled throughout this area of the Rocky Mountains, and it is surrounded by the White River National Forest. It was not too long and we found ourselves driving into Grand Junction, then into Fruita, and finally our destination in Loma, Colorado. We found an Airbnb called The Barn. It had 3 rooms and 4 beds, a kitchen, a dining area, laundry, and a 2-car garage. It was basically a steel building converted into a house on a farm. They had a sweet little kitty, and I affectionately referred to him as Silverton from his beautiful gray coat. His main job was to eat mice out on the farmland, and he certainly was a busy boy. The barn is located a short 7-minute drive from the Kokopelli trailhead, where most of the trails in this region are single track. It varies from extremely technical to easier trails through scenic areas over the Colorado River. For me, the most notable trails were Mac Ridge and More Fun, which are the most technical.
No.
Horse Thief is all the rage, but it's the most technical in 2 parts. Those are the entrance and one section down by the Colorado River before you make your climb back to the start of the loop, the entrance being the most extreme feature of the trail. The other trails are generally less technical, but super fun. The next major trail system was lunch loops. This system was about 20 minutes from our stay, and I would argue was the most fun system in the Grand Junction region. Don't let the name fool you. There are more trails out here than you could ever dream of fitting into your lunch break. Many of these trails are very technical and some downright gnarly. The Ribbon had another example of a section that was just too steep and dangerous for my comfort.
Yeah, videos don't do justice just to how insane people are, and I'm not. I know this shit's got traction. Gobs of traction, but you gotta do it right, or else. You know, it's above my pay grade.
Next up is the third large trail system in the Grand Junction region, known as 18 Road Trails, or the North Fruita Desert Trails, which was about 45 minutes away from the barn. While I make a great attempt to not be negative about any system, the truth is this was my least favorite place to ride. Much of the trails here are far less technical, purely flow or cross country. The trails through the northern mountainous region are also dirt bike accessible and are full of deep, loose sand. After only a few rides here, I was pretty quickly through with the experience. My first week in this region was mainly dedicated to seeing some sights, and less about mountain biking. One of the first places on the map to visit was the town of Ouray, in the San Juan Mountains, a high and rugged mountain range in the Rocky Mountains in southwestern Colorado and northwestern New Mexico. The area is highly mineralized and figured in the gold and silver mining industry of early Colorado. Major towns, all old mining camps, include Creed, Lake City, Silverton, Ouray, and Telluride. Large-scale mining has ended in the region, although independent prospectors still work claims throughout the range. I was hoping my luck would be better from here on out after the expensive car repair, but this hike in Telluride would prove otherwise. At the base of this hike, things appeared pretty normal, but as the hike went on, I ran into some serious ice and snow.
Trail certainly got harder, but not easier. I'm running into lots of snow and I'm kind of slipping and sliding. I'm still a ways off from the falls.
However, nothing was really going to stop me from getting to Bridal Veil Falls out there in Telluride, Colorado.
This part was tricky on the way up, but man, going down is worse.
Slipping and falling wasn't fun, and having an injury like this is not something I wanted to have at the start of a big bike trip. Regardless of this injury, I got right into it on the trails as soon as possible.
How pretty this is, man. You don't get stuff like this in Georgia. You get some pretty cool trails, but nothing like this. Oopsie daisy. Oh, cool. Whoop. Wow. The GoPro's live just how majestic this shit is, but wow. What a view. Maybe. This trail is awesome. Alright, I'm gonna wait up here for Kim before he gets mad. Oh, wow. What a view. Can you see that shit? Give that a listen. How amazing.